Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You know those times when you get invited to a party as a guest?
And he took me to a John Legend private concert. I didn't even know that's what we were doing.
We're walking with Michael Jackson.
And you have no idea what you're in for.
I whipped out my junk and put it on his desk.
This is a podcast about just that.
They're going to arrest us for being on mushrooms at a wizard park. We're in trouble.
This is Plus One Stories.
Here we are again with another episode of Plus One Stories. What's going on? My name is Chris Donovan, the host, and do me a favor. If you like this show, make sure you tell a friend about it because there's going to be some crazy stories coming up here soon. If there aren't crazy enough, I mean, we've had Michael Jackson's Plus One, somebody who's on shrooms at Universal, and my friend embarrassed me going to one of my events. Well, this one today is from an eternal Plus One, as she coined it so eloquently. It's Captain Evil, or better known as Renae Trevino. She's the wife of comedian Steve Trevino, mother of Garrett and Delilah. And she's been side stage with a stroller. She's met Mr. Eastwood. And you get to hear about one of the first times she was actually dating Steve. And they were hanging out with some celebrities. And she walks directly into a street sign. So enjoy this episode of Plus One Stories. Go to thisisfunner.com for more online content, podcasts, and videos. And follow me, Chris_Donovan, across platforms. So enjoy this Plus One story with Eternal Plus One, Captain Evil, Renae Trevino. All right, we're back with another episode of Plus One Stories. I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, actually, that I met through her husband. This is Captain Evil Trevino, or better known as Renae to me. How are you, Renae? Thank you for joining me.
I'm good. Isn't it funny that this is about plus ones and you literally introduced me as my plus one name, Captain Evil.
Captain Evil. Now, we go way back. I met her husband, Steve Trevino, the infamous comedian, before I met my wife. Before I met my wife.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you guys all met at the same time. She was just not your wife yet, right?
Correct. But I was hanging out with him doing comedy shows with X1039 before I ever even met Evelyn in person. So he had done some comedy shows with me and Jeff Garcia and some other comedians, DJ Cooch and stuff. And then all our paths started crossing a little bit more often. And then Ralphie May got mixed up in there. And then, then I met Evelyn and fell in love.
And Lana May.
So we've been friends for a while. You came in, you married the man, and now you're.
To everyone's surprise and dismay.
I wouldn't say to anyone's surprise except for Steve's, because you definitely are out of his league. Like, he married up, and I think he knows that. but you are his eternal plus one now. But you have some stories about being not necessarily that eternal plus one. You have like a couple first date stories and stuff about,
Yeah. Well, you know what? Chris, if you said, you've known him forever. And if you go way, way back, I never imagined that I would be one, Captain Evil, that would turn into a thing. But that it would cement me as an eternal forever plus one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think we're now on, I don't know, I lose track, 3 comedy specials where he basically just talks shit about me.
Mm-hmm. Yet you bear his children. That's love. Oh, I love it. Okay.
So I guess there's stuff, but I never could have guessed that when Steve and I met, we were just like 2 young kids pounding the pavement, as they say, going after our dreams. And I was trying to be an actress and he was trying to be a comedian. And I had never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that that he would create an act and make a career out of talking shit about me.
Yeah, it's like you're one of Jeff Dunham's puppets, kind of. You're Steve Trevino's puppet.
That's a great way to think of it. Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to say that. That sounded really rude. So I'm glad you're not offended.
Listen, the things Steve says about me on stage are rude, so I am not easily offended. Clearly.
I know it's all said with love and intent to be more successful.
Listen, if it buys me shoes and bags, we're good.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it buys. And a babysitter every so often. That would be nice too.
Oh yeah, that's important.
So we were talking a little bit ago, and I don't want to go too in depth, but one of the first times you were a +1 with Steve when you were.
Oh my gosh, our first date. So
first date.
Well, it was like one of our very first.
Okay.
No, it wasn't our first date, but it was like maybe we'd been on like 3 dates, right? So I'm there with him. It's a group hang, but I'm definitely there with him. I'm not there with the group. I am his +1. And he's like, hey, come out. Vince Vaughn is going to be hanging out. A bunch of us are going out at Hollywood, And
awesome.
So we were going to, I don't even remember what club it was now. Hollywood, they like change the names of clubs every so often. So it must have been like, actually, I just don't want to say the name of the damn club because I don't want to date myself.
Don't do this. Don't say Metro or anything like that.
Yeah. So we're all going out and we're walking from one club to the next down the streets of Hollywood. No joke. I'm not talking to them in my cute little kitten heels and my cute little dress. I walk right into a street sign. Sign is like shaking. My head is spinning, totally trying to play it off. I mean, I must have really fallen for Steve if I just walked right into a damn street sign.
Did everybody see you do it?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
for
God.
Sure.
There wasn't like
everyone
you could rub it off.
Play it off, and they were like, "All right, okay, she's good. She can hang."
Oh my God! Did they call you pole girl or like street sign lady or anything after that?
I can't remember what they called me, but I was definitely the girl who walked into the street sign for sure. It was hard to live that one down.
You're like, no auto, no stop.
Yeah.
I was just in Mexico for a few days. I learned a little bit more Spanish than I usually do.
But after that, he fell in love with me, and then forever his +1. So listen to all the single ladies out there. If you're like, how do I get his attention? How do I make him love me? Just walk right into a damn street sign.
Now, have you seen Vince since?
No.
But when you do, because you're going to run into him eventually. When you do, you're going to be like, remember the street sign? That was me.
Yeah, it's very memorable.
Friend. Oh yeah, very memorable. I mean,
very memorable. And I feel like in the world of internet dating, when everyone's just a swipe left or right or whichever direction you're supposed to swipe, that's the way you get someone to remember you, is you run into a street sign.
I do think that's quite hilarious. I'm glad you're okay and your children don't have any like wailing elements about your brain being hurt during that episode of walking into a pole. But I'm sure you've got another one of you and Steve. I was a +1 with Steve actually one time when I went up to the Comedy Store with him. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I was a +1 with him. I met Dave Chappelle. Who's the roast master? What's his name? I can't remember.
Jeff.
Jeff. Him.
Huh? Jeff?
Yeah,
yes.
That guy.
Yes.
I met him. I think Rogan was there that night. Steve did a set. I had a good old time hanging out, and he was judging the roast battle.
Yes.
So I hung out with him, and I ended up getting lost.
That was fun.
I was trying to get home till like 3 a.m. because I live way out here in Riverside. So you guys are
late night at the Comedy Store is whack, or it used to be. I don't know. I haven't been in a post-COVID world, but late night at the Comedy Store used to be really, really wacky. Some strange stuff would happen.
No, it still happens. I think they're just 4 or 5 feet apart. Well, that was a fun one.
It's probably safer for everyone, actually.
Right? It probably would, 100%. Even the walls. Don't go 4 foot to the walls either.
Yeah.
What else you got?
No, you know what? I just remember because Steve and I took forever to get married. We dated for a really long time.
I'm sure that was all him.
Totally. We were 7 years in, and we would still get wedding invitations that would say Steve Trevino +1. And I would be like, you've got to be shitting me. I have been with Steve longer than the bride and the groom have even dated. Oh. And I am still Steve Trevino +1. I couldn't believe it.
Ouch.
7 years of Steve Trevino +1. But how the tables have turned. Now it's like, Captain Evil. Hi, Captain Evil. Where's
Steve
Captain
Trevino
Evil?
plus Captain Evil.
Yeah.
That's funny. When you were that +1 in the wedding, or when you're saying about the invitation, did you RSVP and then not show up so they had to pay for your plate?
I should have. No, they're still married, right? Because I was like, there's a lot. The particular one I'm talking about, they're still married, but there's plenty that are no longer married. That I was a +1 to. And
look at this +1.
So just rubbing that in. There.
Well, there was any side stage music show +1 highlights. I know Steve's a big music fan.
He always says, he says that I get to live the life because I get to be, and it's true. I get to be, because of him, I get to be a +1 to like a lot of cool things and places. And I don't have to get up there. There's not the pressure for me to get up there and perform and be funny. Part of being a comedian is you show up to these things and for him, Steve's really good at it, but there's a lot of pressure to like always be on. Mm-hmm. That's so hard.
Yeah.
That's so hard. So he's like, I get to reap all the benefit by being the +1.
But you guys haven't gone to like a Metallica concert that he got side stage tickets or anything like that?
Well, listen, Steve will tell you that I am the bougie one, but let's be real. Steve is not going to any concert or show unless he is like side stage, knows someone, called in the favor or the friend. Yeah, for sure.
He's bougie, yet he doesn't wear sleeves. It's such a weird combination. I don't get that.
No, but we're big into Texas country, so we get to be side stage for Randy Rogers and Roger Creager and Whiskey Meyer. We were just at, and you know what? That was funny too, because talking about all their +1s. Do you know Whiskey Meyer?
No, I don't, but keeps talking. Tell me about it.
Okay, so Whiskey Meyer, actually, the way people would know them is Yellowstone. That whole first season, it's like all their music.
Okay, yeah.
And to me, they make country cool. If you don't know Whiskey Meyer, you've got to check them out. You have to see who they are. But they all, when we were backstage at their show, all their wives were back there. They all, like Steve and I, made babies during COVID because husbands were actually home.
What else you doing, right?
Yeah. So backstage is all the +1s. But it's not just the +1s. It's the mamas. It's the like babies in the strollers, the fancy bougie strollers side stage.
Oh, that's awesome. It's like daycare side stage. It's just let's go with daddy to work day kind of thing, or mommy to work day.
This is awesome. Dad plays a guitar solo and then walks over to the side of the stage, gives the baby a kiss, back on stage. Really cool.
You dropped your binky. Here you go. Go ahead, put that back. Now, I never thought about that, even though that's a world that a lot of, I'm sure, sports wives and sports husbands live in, the world of being +1s. I got to get a hold of some sports wives and find out some crazy stories about all the wives sitting around talking smack. Do you have any of those stories?
Yeah. Well, listen, if you're a comedian's wife, you talk a lot of smack, right? Because you get to do it behind the scenes. So I think, I take it back, Randy Rogers' wife, she and I talk shit about our husband. Awesome. You and Chelsea should have a podcast where you like talk about the behind the scenes smack of being an eternal +1, because I think she feels it's both a blessing and a curse to be an eternal +1.
I do like the term eternal +1 that you coined. I might be running with that a little bit over the show.
Well, do you feel like an eternal +1?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes my wife still gets all the benefits of, she does morning radio here in Southern California. So it's always Evelyn Arribas +1 or Evelyn Arribas plus family. So I'm not even a 1 anymore. I lost my whole facade. I'm blending in with the zeros and ones now with my family. I don't even get my own name.
But it's also like, because you're on the radio, you've become this like +1 whose reputation precedes you. So like people almost too, I'm sure, assume like they know, and even your kids too, because everyone talks about the family on the radio too, right? So it's this weird thing where like people, just by being that +1, people, you show up to an event and people feel like they know you.
But that's also another good upside of being in this industry and a +1 is that we can bring our kids to a lot of things that we actually go to, except for Steve's late night comedy shows. Those are a little X-rated sometimes. Yeah.
Well, and you know what? We used to, when our son was younger, it didn't matter. You know, he's in the green room and he's clueless. He doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. But now, he definitely hears the language. So we do dinner with dad before the show, and then we peace out and head it back to the hotel room. Yeah.
That works out good then.
Yeah, because I don't need 2 people talking shit about me. 1 is enough.
Exactly. You need to wait. Your daughter's got to get a little bit older to join your side. Then it'll be 2 on 2. You'll be back to.
I hope it happens that way. Does it?
No, it won't. No. You'll get the boy and the girl will go to Steve. So you'll still be even. You'll have one of each, but it won't be the way you thought.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Steve and I did this thing last year where we raised money for military vets. So we raised money to donate pies on Thanksgiving to vets. And the way we did a competition between the 2 of us, and you could either purchase a pie for my team or purchase a pie for Steve's team. And I won just by like literally a few pies at the very tail end. So I got to pie Steve in the face.
Oh, awesome. I saw that.
And it was so much fun. We had a blast. It was for a good cause. But of course, now Garrett is like determined to get to pie me in the face. So he's like, how do I get to pie Mom in the face? And I'm like, wait a minute. How did this turn into me taking a pie to the face?
I know what Garrett's getting for Christmas. Is there a game that smashes people in the face with pies?
Yeah, if we can get it off of a shipping container on its way.
Right. Exactly. Garrett, Christmas present. Hold on, I'm making a note real quick. Okay, before we get out of here, I want to ask you one more question. You've 2 more questions. Sorry.
Okay.
Where was your most favorite +1 event or evening or day or whatnot?
Oh, you know what? I have a girlfriend who was a producer for Clint Eastwood, which is like major film icon. Christina Rivera is my girlfriend's name. And she would always hook me up and I'd get to go to the premieres. And at a Clint Eastwood premiere, the studio does not set a small budget. It's Clint Eastwood. So those premieres were always awesome. You're eating great food. It was always a good party. We did, let's see, which ones was I at?
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Lots of
American
sidearms.
Sniper. I got to go to the American Sniper premiere. I got to go to a couple of them while she was working for him.
That's right. He directs too. That's right. Oh, that is dope. That's cool. Okay. All right.
So I did get to meet Mr. Eastwood.
That was my next question. Who's your most famous person you've met while being an internal +1?
I mean, Clint Eastwood is like icon status. I think he might make the top of my list. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
although if anyone knows Mark Wahlberg, I'm happy to be your +1.
Oh, I was going to say, did you meet? Okay, I'll keep that in mind, but I won't tell Steve that you didn't pick him. Renae, you're hilarious. I love you to death. Tell Steve, Garrett, and the baby, which I totally forgot her name.
Delilah Ray.
Delilah Ray. Tell them all hi for us. We need to get together very, very soon.
Yes.
Kick Steve in the ass for me. And
you know what? I think we have I don't know if it's on the books this year, but I know we're talking about Ontario and Irvine. And since I'm an eternal +1, if it's California, I'm coming. We'd love to see you guys.
Oh yeah, come on down. We can turn the hot tub on in the backyard when he's done doing comedy. We can hang out.
That sounds awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Captain Evil. Until next time.
Bye, Chris.
You've survived another story. Thanks for listening, and please let us know what you think about the show by leaving a rating and review. If you have a story or want to connect with Chris, go to thisisfunner.com.